kick things off, Vince. They got 16-0'd earlier on this very map. They've allowed it to sneak in against the world's best. Do we feel like that's going to be something that's working out for them? Surely not.
Well, you say you learn more from a loss than a win, but
Sure.
that is such a ridiculous loss that I'm not sure. Chad did paint the picture very nicely, though, of the different style, a clash of style compared to Mousesports and Astralis. But yeah, I think Astralis are taking dust too, and personally, I think I've had my heart broken too many times by North, man. They're too inconsistent.
I think that's true, but we do have Train coming up next, and they've looked like one of the best CT sides I've seen maybe this year in terms of their coordination, the synergy that was coming through, the AWPing from MSL has been surprising, to say the very least. He's looked excellent. Maybe he can go toe-to-toe with Device in this series, but Dust 2, you definitely do have to edge towards Astralis here. We are just getting ready on the server to bring you the action. Not everyone quite connected yet. But in terms of your prediction, Vince, I guess you'll be sticking with the analysts as well and going with Astralis overall?
Yeah, I think it's hard to go against that, man. I could see it potentially going into a third map, as you say, with Train, but then we're going to Overpass. It doesn't get any easier. Astralis, one of the best teams in the world when it comes to that awesome map.
Absolutely. Well, Dust 2 is always going to be a fast-paced, high-octane affair, Vince. It's a good way to kick off the grand final. It should be a lot of fun here. You've got big players across the board on both teams. Like the guy said, Nico probably hasn't actually played in a grand final like this before. He's quite new to this end of the scene. Definitely been on the stage a couple of times, but in a grand final, I would say almost certainly not. He hasn't been a big talking point for North, but I think he has to be today. The MVP for me for so far on the North side has to be AZ, I would say. Just the level we've seen from him finally is being realized, the talent, the potential that was always talked about. We're finally getting it on our screens consistently. It's not just the odd map. He's looked electric throughout this entire tournament, and that's going to be a massive talking point. But remember, this is a rematch. We have had this best of 3 already, and believe it or not, it was North that came out on top. It
sure was, and I love that AZ's also kind of just embraced the meme fully, coming up with the 2015 quote on Twitter earlier. In fact, I think it may have been last night, but man, him alongside Valda, I think, is a recipe for potential upset. If the two of them can bounce back as they did yesterday, Astralis may have their hands full. Kirby also, he's a player that has been inconsistent. He's been a player that I think it's safe to say is a bit disappointing at times. He had so much potential, so much promise, and finally in this tournament we're starting to see what he can do too.
Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we are getting into the match. Let's just make sure that's 100% official. Here we go. Astralis versus North. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce the grand final of the DreamHack Masters Stockholm. This is going to be some Danish dynamite. Astralis versus North. Let me hear you! Astralis start on the CT side, North on the T side here. And we'll have P250s, Glocks, 3 smokes. This is going to be a very technical play as Glaive will be challenging towards middle of the start. Nothing spotted, but they are getting ready towards those long doors. CTs will have presence there. It's going to be up to Zipex to hold off the push that could potentially come through. Presumably they will flash and smoke him before they actually make their next move here.
Certainly hope so here, Henry, but it is going to start to get hot and heavy as the smoke has started to plume, but the bomb is making a move on the long side. Going to be in the arms of AZ, and here comes Zipex. He is going to have to back away for the time being. Got a second player up in the form of Device, who is watching across on long landing headshots already. Can't quite get the second, going to get flanked by MSL. A good pick for North, may yield a bomb plant at the very least. And it's going to get a whole lot better. Valda catches Magus in midair. I don't know if he saw a second player, may have heard the footsteps at the very least, that short is going to be contested by Dupree, taking point for his team alongside Glaive. Zipex now making a move in CT spawn. MSL and Valda should be able to hold the line here with the rest of their teammates. Jumping up on elevator Zipex, but no one's there to boost him. MSL's going to block him out. Valda with one of his own, and Dupree only able to bag himself 1 kill. That should be the round over right here, right now. He's taking so much damage. Oh my God! 2 kills with 1 HP! But the clutch dream is dead, Henry.
It certainly is. Amazing effort there from Dupree. He'll go down with a bomb blast, but he did manage to take 3. North make their way towards short, trading out frags, and Fish and Plant comes through, and it's down to Dupree in the 3 versus 1. He got irresistibly close there, Vince, but wasn't quite enough. North now with a huge advantage. There is going to be the force buy from what I can see from Astralis. Magus will get the armor, the rest of them focusing on utility. We can see HE grenades, smokes, a scout for Device here, 3 rifles for North, and they're going to take the long bomb spawn. It's going to be Nico to try and open things up. 3 CTs waiting from the other side. He makes his way through and avoids the grenades. Device with the scout, though. So scary, this particular sniper. And a fast push towards shore. This sometimes can fall apart. You don't really want to be pushing through very quickly as the 4-4 players. But AZ through the smoke will take down Zippix to kick things off. And now they can calm down. Nico with the long control. They've got a 5 versus 4. This is exactly what you want at the start of these sort of rounds. You don't have to overcommit. Wait to see what the reaction is, or get your head blown off by Device. Or
not the greatest outcome, to say the least. North have been able to pick apart Astralis' CT side in this round. Gonna have Magisk making a move around the back with his CZ, seeing if maybe he can pluck out one of the Ts. If not, can save the CZ for the next round. Does have Kevlar plus the scout of Device, who's praying and hoping he can get something done through the smoke.
I don't think he will at this point, Vince. I think it's just going to be the stage of saving the scout itself. You can see he didn't actually buy the weapon. He's still got $1,400. His teammates give him the weapon so he can actually have the AWP going forward. It all makes a lot of sense. Magisk with the CZ and armor as well. Might as well save it. He'll be holding towards those long doors, but there's no real reason to hunt at this point. You could potentially just lose your AK. Maybe Nico could push the long doors, but you can survive the bomb blast, of course, in the pit. Let Device save his scout. It's not going to be an amazingly crucial factor going forward. Definitely avoidable with the right smokes towards Xbox, go towards short again. You can almost make him redundant going into that next round. But great stuff from North. They've converted the second round here, looking for that 3-0. And we'll see whether they get out clean. It looks like it'll be absolutely fine. Device still in the B site. And remember, North got 16-0'd by Mousesports in this very map. They've got the pistol. Got a few rounds under the belt now. It's going to blow the cobwebs for themselves. And now Astralis, pretty much a full eco with those saved CZs and scouts there. So we'll see whether North can replicate the success. This is a kill through the smoke from AZ. Like we said, he's been absolutely phenomenal this tournament.
He really has. It's been a while since we've been able to sing his praises. Device, a speculative shot through mid, not going to connect onto MSL, who's been doing serious work over the duration of this tournament with the AWP. In terms of this round, I'm not going to have that on his back. Making a move out to long though again, Henry, and as you say, with Astralis, bare minimum of weaponry, North surely 3-0.
Oh, absolutely. It would take an absolute meltdown from North at this point to give this round up as Kiabi makes his way through. Molotov towards the car. You want to make sure, even against the full ecos, Vince, you want to be dropping all the utility. Do not risk anything. You give these players an inch, they're going to take a mile. But Valda and Kiabi will take 2 frags for themselves, and that will be the round guaranteed at this point. Bomb replanted. Device might as well save the scout once again. The save season armor of Magisk is now gone. Device will lose the scout, but Glaive will take a kill here. He might get an AK-47 and maybe take that to the next round. That would be fantastic. Save him some cash. He's also picked up a Molotov. That's $400 worth of utility. Dupree at this point, his objective is to save his teammate, but it's not going to happen. Now Glaive just trying to hold on to the saved rifle, but North can definitely justify hunting for him. They know how valuable that particular rifle is, and he should be going down here. He's got no armor. A couple of bullets will take him down. Just like that, he also gets aim punch, which will remove his crosshair from the situation. But 3-0, great stuff for North. They didn't give away too many frags either. They managed to keep 4 alive in every single round here. So we'll see what happens going into the next one. The AWP comes out for Device, like we said. He didn't actually have to purchase that scout previously, so he gets AWP and armor. Nico saving the MAC-10. They could go for something quite quick here. I can see players, 3 of them heading down towards suicide, but Device ready and waiting.
He's going to land the shot into Kirby, blows out his kneecaps. It'll be difficult for him to stagger his way onto the site now, but it's going to be very aggressive by North, knowing they're going to be skimping on somebody's head armors, catching him in transition. Kirby besting Dupree. This leaves Zipex by himself on the site. Device does have the AWP, but they're expending a bit of utility just to hold the line. Magisk now realizes, hold on a second, this may be a B hit. He is going to catch Kirby, who was already weakened, courtesy of Device. But Magisk now has to hold off against 3 separate terrorists. Is going to do the damage onto the first, runs out of bullets, runs out of life. But Valda with 2 should be securing the 4th round now on the side of North.
Excellent stuff by Valda there. Transferring the spray towards the doors, finds 2 very important frags. Magisk gets 2 frags, but that's still not quite enough. And it's Zipex, the master of these clutches, Vince, making his way towards the doors. He has not got a kit, but he has got a smoke and an HE grenade. 2 kills to find. HE actually pretty successful there. Does a boatload of damage towards Valda, but how does he get through these doors unscathed? They've got him surrounded, and AZ will confirm the round victory there. Like we said, fast pace in that first gun run. You know the money's not going to be ideal. They potentially don't have kits. They're going to be weak with potential no helmet as well. This was the kill that secured it for me. Device getting destroyed there with his AWP in hand. Valda takes him down. It's 4-0, potentially 5 with the eco coming through. Astralis with Deagles, CZ, may just opting for some armor here. They've got a couple of HEs. I assume they use those towards long at the very start, but they will land on nobody because you do not want to use those good spawns on these sort of rounds where they could potentially go for a nade stack or a 5-man B push, something like that on the CT side. You just want to hold up on your default, get the information first, then go together.
With these lineups, trading players, he's starting to see the familiarity, maybe coming to the forefront with North. Already doing far better than their performance earlier. Shows how headstrong MSL is too. 16-0 loss. Straight into Dust 2, no problem.
It's one of those maps. It's very dependent on clutches, and they lost a bucket load of 1 versus 2s, 1 versus 3s and stuff. It was unlucky. They couldn't get control of the economy. They know they can play the map. Just have one bad performance, and it doesn't need to shy away for the rest of the tournament. But here we go. You're absolutely right. 4-0. Start to encroach on the bomb site here. It's Nika to get the first frag. I dare say will take Device any second now as well. Unless he hits something absolutely wonderful. Doesn't seem to be happening. He'll burn to a crisp there on the ramp. And it's going to be a 5 versus 2. Dupree and Mages once again saving their weaponry. This is a rough start for the world's best. And I guess they probably would have preferred playing against Mousesports, you know, in this particular one, because the derbies are always the ones that get inside your head a little bit more. You play against them so much, you know, the tendencies, they're used to being your team, some of them as well. It can get in your head, and you might change your style just because you've got that factor going on. So I think they would have much rather played Mousesports. But for us as spectators, I think this is possibly the best final we could have got. 2 Danish teams going at it. North are looking revitalized. They're looking like they've got a world-class AWP in the form of MSL. Can't believe I'm saying that, Vince, but it's a fact. He has looked incredible this tournament. And I can't wait to see how this one pans out. Astralis with money once again. They could go for a double AWP setup, but they don't really run it that often. I say that. Dupree and may just purchase the AWP straight away. They'll drop one of them to Device. It will be Dupree, who technically is the secondary AWP. He was the main AWPer for a while. Didn't really work out for them, but here he goes again. And the long spawns are perfect for Nico and AZ. Watch out for those guys.
Nico will indeed be making the most of that spawn. Instantly out, we saw this earlier on. Flash is actually going to connect into his face, courtesy of the CTs. But looking straight to the ground, is going to alleviate some of the pressure, which he will apply directly to Astralis. And it's going to be Zipnix that gets taken out instantly. At least they get the trade frag. And then Daisy through the smoke, though, is going to punish Glaive. And now Device has to hold by himself, but he's not going to be required just yet.
That's perfect. I love that approach from Nico as well. You can see his objective is to get to that pit while his teammates are pumping flash after flash and pushing the CTs back. There's smoke on the corner to give him the cover there. He goes 1 for 1, but that's absolutely fine. That removes a key player. Zipex and Glaive have gone down. North with the advantage here, and there's only 1 player in the B bomb side. That's Mages. He managed to get 2 last time. He's going to have to do that once again. Sprays wildly the M4, but taking so much damage with the flashbangs. The Molotovs are landing, but he's still doing a great job here. Not for long, and Dupree, the secondary AWPer, can't connect anything just yet.
Device also watching the cross, but I think they've resigned their fate. That this round will not be going their way. They're going to save a North off to a 6-0 start.
Can you believe it? Device and Dupree will have to try and save the AWPs there, which are obviously very valuable. Money is there for North. They can justify going for a push here towards the end, but you can see the CTs are pretty far removed from the equation, Dupree and Device, and the pit and car respectively. And we'll see if they can hold on to them. But this is looking good from North. They're using those spawns. They're bullying the economy of Astralis. They're trading frags effectively, and that's all they really need to do. They get those spawns, use it every single time. They've got a system to get players like Nico out there. I assume everyone is aware of their role when they have to use the best spawn, get in the pit area, try to push those CDs back as much as you can, spray them down, and if you get equal trades that they did there, you're going to run away with the round because it's so uncomfortable for the CTs. Both AWPs are safe, but 6-0 for North. This has to be the timeout. Surely,
yeah. This has got to be it. Try and figure out what they're going to do alongside these 2 AWPs, but I'm not sure what their options realistically are. They've got enough funds, Henry, especially with the 2 saved AWPs in play. Could be at the lack of some utility. But MSL, a player that's often struggled with mental blocks, as have North, I think that's safe to say.
Yes.
Coming through into this game, even though they won the last best of 3, I'd say they're still the underdogs, and that could be a lot of pressure that they don't feel any longer.
if you have this sort of start, all those nerves and all that pressure gets relieved very quickly. If you're facing the 0 and 6 and you're the underdog, that's when you start feeling it. That's when you start getting in a rut and you're realizing you're not performing. Your frags are down there at 1 and 5 or something like that. That's when they can crumble. But the fact they've had this electrifying start on Dust 2, a map that is 16-0'd on, it's going to just bring them so much confidence. It's going to exhume through them. We'll see whether this fast play towards middle will work out as well. It looks like a B split coming in very quickly once again, and dupreeh with the orb. This not an ideal weapon or position by the car.
Magiska's shown even when he's lost rounds, he's been doing damage.
They're by the window already.
But yeah, Kirby's got him on lock. He's going to make sure he's got the guaranteed kill. And I'm sure that dupreeh's not long for this world too. Right after Astralis call the timeout, they get weapons on the board, instantly nullified, instantly neutralized. This has got to be getting in the head of Astralis at this stage now.
Everything they're trying is getting counted here, and that's a perfect call from MSL. If a team calls a timeout, it suggests they're going to adapt. They're going to change something up here. And what do? You just throw a wild tactic like that into the mix. They're presumably going to try and move those orbs around and have a turret somewhere, like the B-bomb side, like dupreeh tried to do. They actually get up towards the window, and they were smart about it. They realized they were undetected through middle. If they walk up to that window, they're going to have no idea they're coming through. Get the first kill on the platform. dupreeh was done for at that point. North are calling a perfect game right now. MSL having a lot of fun out there, and it's up to Glaive now to work out what the response is. They've all saved 3 weapons again, so it's not an absolute disaster, but they need to start waking up here. What's going to be the play to get them into this game? Like you said, money not a huge issue for the CTs. They are consistently saving weapons, but you can see them just patting the shoulders of MSL there. He's like, yeah, just keep this up. Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Looks incredibly calm, of course, with a 7-0 lead, understandably. Although you can also see, though, is that MSL, up until this round, I don't believe has had an AWP, or at least not many of them. And on this map like Dust 2, AWPs are such a huge central point of them. So it shows that North, they can adapt, they can be versatile, they can swing out, as AZ is right now, playing aggressive on long.
You can see him just looking at the floor, avoiding those flashbangs. It's working again, Vince. He's going to get a double! And he makes his way out of block, straight towards the pit. The same system deployed, and even better results. And now the smokes guarantee them the long control. And dupreeh looking at 6s and 7s at this point. He's going to have to fall back.
Just that ruthless aggression, catching Astralis off guard again. Playing aggressively, and they can't handle the heat right now.
I love the way they just look at the floor. They're not looking at the kill until he gets to the pit and he knows he can swing wide and get past that smoke, just avoiding every flashbang while the CTs are eating them.
North, with their 2-player advantage, going to look to try and punish Astralis, forcing their way over onto A side. 2 players in CT, going to be Device and dupreeh. They've held on to weapons time and time again, but now the only real currency that matters is the top of the screen, which reads 7-0. Astralis have got to start getting rounds soon. Tossing the bomb across just to make sure they don't get picked. It wasn't a great throw, though. Could have cost them.
Well, it seems like it's fine. Once, Kiabe, I was about to say, they're going to save 3 weapons again, but he could be on for a couple of kills here. Well, Red, the former Astralis player, waiting in the B tunnels now. They will just be holding the B bomb site itself. Device. AWP once again. We'll check in with the scoreboards while we're here, Vince. Glaive 1 and 7, Zipex 2 and 7. At the very top is Device with 4 and 4. They're yet to post a round, and North can justify going for this. Take a Molotov towards the back. Device still getting cooked, my friend. Bit of Danish bacon at the back of the bomb side there. And we'll see Magisk. He'll maybe get a couple of frags here, but it looks like they're all going to go down at the end. The rest of dupreeh can find 4 kills like that. That's not bad at all.
The last stand for Astralis is going to yield kills, an AK and an AWP. Again, it's not bad, but it does feel like a bit of a drop in the bucket considering they're still eyeing up an 8-0 deficit. And North, no issues to go back in for a buy. And although there's loads of money, they are rich right now. It's full AK-47s. They're not interested in the AWP on MSL.
It's not required, remember. This team don't have to have an AWPer. He is great on the CT side stuff, but I don't think he can go toe-to-toe with Device and straight up one-on-one duels on the T side. If he can control where he's going to go and be unpredictable on the CT side, I think that's where he'll do his best work. But this is fine. Use the AKs. You're 8-0 up. He does not need to be finding slow-pace, influential picks. They're really bullying them with this fast mechanical gameplay right now. Players like AZ, more than confident and capable enough of getting out there, finding the kills consistently. So why change anything? Device does save the AWP, and it was an expensive procedure for North for the last round, but still, 2 players on $10,000. No problems here. As they send 3 players down suicide once again, why not? Keep up the fast pace. It's working, Vince.
This time, though, they are going to get the first kill, and it feels like that's one of the first rounds we've seen that happen. Zipex on long. He's now going to turn his attention towards short, but there's AZ, accompanied by a flashbang. MSL's going to trade in 2. 3-on-3 started well for Astralis, but they're starting to struggle. They're starting to slip away as will Glaive. His woes continue, and Dupree, not for the first time, going to try and retake from CT spawn. He has Device with the AWP perched up on long, but the bomb's already been planted. There's no reason for North to go looking now. They can see from Valda's perspective that one of those pesky CTs is making a move on the site. That's going to be Dupree, but there's Valda landing the headshot partially through the smoke, and AZ will finish it off as Dupree gets body bagged.
Now, the reason this is so difficult to handle is North are not running any defaults right now. They're not running anything standard. They're using the spawns, and it's so stifling for Astralis. They can't seem to frag back here. They even got the opening kill there, but still making their way up short as fast as possible, beating the incendiary that was thrown. Astralis don't have a response for it whatsoever. We're 9-0 up. Remember, North got beaten 16-0 about 2 hours ago on this very map. Back towards long, and AZ doing it again! Another double kill! How is he providing so many kills in this area? Astralis, you've got to leave long alone. You can't challenge him.
After another tumultuous force fight with Device with a glass cannon AWP, very little nades, they put everything into this round, and AZ's taking it away. He continues to impress here in Stockholm.
Unbelievable. How he keeps finding 2 kills there, I couldn't tell you, but it's great to watch. Dupree, top of middle, caught in no man's land here, needs to get the hell out. The CT's trying to react. They're all in the B tunnels right now. Kiabi, if he just gets one of them, that guarantees the round. And he's away, can hear footsteps. Guaranteed kill for him, maybe not. Lovely shot by Magisk, but still, he's going to spot 2 of them heading towards T-spawn. That's going to be the cue for the North boys to make their way towards A, but they're being quite tentative about it, making sure they don't give anything away. Up they go. Wow.
Doesn't seem Astralis so interested in retaking though, Henry. North are gonna have 10 rounds to the 0 of Astralis, proving to be their kryptonite for the time being. They've already struck once in this tournament. Could they do it again? On the grandest stage of DreamHack Masters. With these save weapons, they're going to be able to get another buy in play. Of course, max round loss bonus, have had it for ages at this stage. But how do they deal with this aggression, though, Henry? I mean, they're trying different things. They're trying to occupy long. They're just getting battered.
The thing is, they're just changing it up between the suicide drop and towards long. So they're trying to adapt to both, but almost not really doing anything about either. That makes sense because they can't handle it when it's changing up each and every time. I feel like leave long alone at this point. Let North have long. Let's get Device on the side itself, the AWP. Let them have at the very start, 2 rifles towards shore, and then at least they go fast middle. We can get behind them. We can push off towards shore. Challenge isn't there. Device and get early information. They take long. At least we won't lose frags at the start. That has to be the call for me. Device on the site, 2 rifles shore. Maybe the secondary open Dupree. He'll be in the B bomb site, so he could be left alone as the turret if required, and then we can have more power towards middle from the rifle. I feel like that's where they need to be focusing towards. These default setups are doing too long, and then trying to challenge the flashes, the relentless flashes from North, really isn't working out for them. We need a significant change. Problem is, another timeout comes through. If I'm MSL right now, I'm calling like a B rush. I'm just mixing it up again. I'm just saying, you know what? We've been bullying long and middle so much. Let's send 5 players through the B tunnels. Why don't we do that? Because they've called a pause. You're inside their heads. I would say that's a cool idea, but maybe they'll slow things right down now and go for a default. They haven't even really ran a default yet, Vince. That's the crazy thing.
We slow things down, see if Astralis push, see if Astralis try and take mid-control.
Sure.
Take a leaf out of the Sunny playbook, and if MSL has his AWP, he could be the direct counter.
I think they're going for the long take, not necessarily straight away. And you can see Device now, he is not going to be challenging long. They're actually leaving long open. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Device with the AWP, he'll control that area. And now, at least they know that it's not going to be a long rush. We've got Zipex on short, Glaive CT spawn. So pretty much what we were looking for. They're just going to have a bit more power towards that mid area to stop the B rushes or the mid splits. And then Device controlling the A side.
Oh, this could really bait Astralis into thinking it's another B hit. An aggressive one. Smokes connect with some flashbangs. Valda, he's by himself. The rest of his team occupy mid, and AZ's just watching the long push. Zipek's going to get forced out of short now. Taking little victories here and there and North.
Vince, if you'd have told me going into this one after losing 16-0, North would be up against the world's best team in the very same map, 10-0 on this T side of Dust 2, I wouldn't have believed you, but that's the way she goes sometimes.
I'm right there with you, Henry. You couldn't dream this stuff up. You couldn't write it. And yet North turning the page, getting closer and closer to the prize pool. This would absolutely wreck the Intel Grand Slam on its head too. We've already seen FaZe drop down a tier, Astralis too. What would be happening?
I don't know. But this is a much slower approach, remember. Kiavi getting flashed in. This time is more promising for Astralis. Opening pick is theirs, but it's a B split coming through. MSL with the AWP will get one. Vegas good positioning, but MSL hitting absolutely everyone with this AWP, it seems, as he looks for another. 9 seconds remaining. AZ needs to make this kill happen. He knows there's the AWP there. He's going to get the kill in response. 4 seconds. They can no longer plant. MSL goes towards B. But now finally Astralis has got that first round on the board. Oh, that's such a risk for Mages. He does not need to be the one hunting for frags. North have all got 5 figures. If he goes down there, the reset potential goes off the scales. Luckily, he gets the kill, so no harm, no foul, but definitely didn't want to justify that. Either way, double AWP setup this time from Astralis. Lose this round, Vince, we could be looking at a 14-1/2. You will have to double eco after this one.
MSL not far off, connecting the leg shot through the doors, and again, surprise, surprise, it's an aggressive play outside. Device misses! Doesn't even connect the leg shot, nothing.
Yeah.
And so Pit now is an issue for the CTs to deal with.
He's got to hit those. That's his bread and butter. He's been put in that position, like we said, to counter this sort of play. He was ready for it. And sure, it's a moving shot, but considered one of the world's best, that should be his.
All day, every day. And he goes down to the hands of MSL.
Yeah, he's crumbling this one. Really needs to work that out. MSL being even a 1 versus 1 in the missed shot. That is not boding well for Device.
Could have drastically changed this round in favor of Astralis had he have hit that. It's going to be in the back of his head, really dwelling on it at this stage. And now North, after getting the pick, they're piecing out towards the B side where Nico is laid in wait. He's got himself some tunnel control. Dupree holding the close angle. He's not going to get too many chances, but will connect onto Nico. Going to throw the smoke down. North aren't going to push behind it. They have no idea as to whether it's a double stack on the B side. So they're going back over on short side. Mages watching mid.
Oh, Zipex is alive. Oh no, it's committed. It's worked though, 2 kills somehow. It looked like that was falling apart for him, but he saves the day. 30 seconds remaining, and the man advantage does sit with Astralis. MSL can't hit that one though. It's a great attempt. They're going to get the bomb up towards shore. He doesn't have to commit to the kills here. If they can get the long plant down, that would be fantastic as MSL tries to defend.
Plans to flick this time. Overkill Glaive has his head splattered. Kirby not going to be landing his opportunity. Now it's down to MSL. In terms of the plant, it will favor him. They're going to have to peek him 1 by 1 as well, Henry. They're on different angles, and now Dupree's going to join them. They're going to boost up onto Elevator, try and maybe peek him.
Oh my God.
Simultaneously, they have an incendiary, but that is it, and MSL continues to land. He's not missing anytime soon. That should be the round wrapped up now. What can Mages realistically pull off? Nothing! MSL destroys Astralis, resets them, 11-1 lead.
Ice cold killer. MSL plays that perfectly. That's a classic long plant play. You're in the pit. It's a decent position for you. They've got no smokes. It couldn't have got any better for him. That shot especially. This is MSL with the AWP coming to this tournament. No one expected this. He's gone beyond all expectations. Amazing round. And we did say if North can win this one, that could be the 14-1/2. Astralis now, they would be double eco. They're going to have to force buy this with Deagles. They're 11-1 down and just been reset dramatically. MSL beats him in the 2 versus 1. And I have to say, he couldn't have played that better. The fact he wasn't committing to the players coming out of CT spawn, he doesn't have to. You can see that crouch angle he took. He can see the bomb. They can't see him. They had no kits. And he runs away with the round. And that's going to get in their heads so badly. They're going to force buy 1 scout, CZ, and a Desert Eagle here. I dare say, this one could be over. They've got Train coming up next as well, and North have looked so good on that map.
Astralis have just seemed completely out of their element here too, Henry. They've just been getting bullied around. A team that notoriously can counter some of the best players in the world. The likes of Simple very rarely get anything done against Astralis, but MSL is just running amok. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but surely he's in contention to be the MVP of this tournament if they win.
Yes, in the context of what we've seen from him and the fact he's never been an AWPer before, I would say he's definitely in the conversation. It's absolutely absurd, isn't it?
You've got players like Simple, Device, Nico, all these heavy hitters, and yet MSL is leading the charge, quite literally, for North, who once again look to impose their will on Long. And it is going to be more of an A stack from Astralis. This could get messy.
Well, they're molotoving everything. The CT's coming through. No kills found just yet, but damage inflicted across the board. Who will frag first? Looks like Astralis, and this is much better from them. Zipex with 2 at the CZ. Still a lot of work to do here. Lost up by HP. And the CTs are there, ready to go. They're going to challenge once again, but Kiabi, my goodness, he delivers. Just going to look that they're out of their depth. 3 kills come his way, and they'll steal back the advantage here. Mages, oh my goodness, going towards Long, and it all falls apart as quickly as that. 12-1, has to be the full eco here as well. North recover, Kiabi decimates his former teammates there. Calm as you like towards the car. And manages to make it work, Vince. What's the play? Do you just force buy again if you're Astralis? Surely you just have to.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. You can already see CZs coming to the forefront. Some Desert Eagles, very powerful on this map, but again, not really getting anything to pick. And MSL, again close, but no cigar. And now Nico, he fears no man at Mach 10. Magus gets destroyed, and B-site is open for business. There's a couple players in mid, but Kirby's going to deal with Dupree. Zipex and Blade going to be pushing through CT spawn. Finally, Kirby will be put down, but he's done so much work, and MSL is continuing to batter and bruise the egos of Astralis. Device has his main weapon in hand. A 1-on-3 does land that shot, but there's the mid-air spray from Nico.
It's 13-1. Astralis are getting absolutely wrecked. This is their map pick as well, Vince. They wanted to play this. They saw the slaughter of Mouseboard, 16-0. And now getting a taste of that medicine themselves. This is unbelievable. It's the final round of the first half, and Astralis have won as the auto snipers come out. They want to finish this in style. Damage going through the doors as Glaive goes down to 8 HP. No kills found, but there's the first. Glaive will strike. And he waits for another opportunity here. Such an exciting last round of the sniper. You can see all the damage inflicted. But still a 4-4. North wants to try and find the almost perfect half there. Straight through the door, MSL finds another. Vince, that's his 15th frag.
Oh my goodness, North. I'm beginning to believe, man. I've seen their Twitter every day. Just a little hint to maybe switch your pick'ems. I don't know, man. I've believed in the past and it's gone horribly wrong, but this has been such an incredible performance. Astralis really have themselves Zipex on the A site, but he's decided to back away at the worst possible moment. No need to save, of course. It is the last round of the half. Magus 1-on-4. This would be the play of a lifetime from his perspective. Maybe gives them a lifeline. I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible, Henry. Let's be real. He's probably just going to get completely destroyed.
Yeah, the bomb's down now. He has no kit, no grenades. Scout, half HP. Do I really need to go any further? It is going to be 14-1. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to give a hand to North. Stunner, what's the atmosphere like down there?
The atmosphere is absolutely electric, Henry Greer. Quite frankly, I don't think we'd beat it out of DreamHack unless I dropped a Allo. No. We can do a little bit better than that. Allo. All right. So we're at the Asus ROG sofa, and we need some new people to sit in it. So I'm going to toss this bad boy into the audience, and I think it's time for you guys, yeah? Oh, we got them fighting to the death over it down here, Henry. What do you make of that?
I'm loving it, Stunner. I'm absolutely loving it. I like fights. Not so much to the death, sometimes a bit better than this. This could be, though, the death of Astralis. 14-1 in the first map. Vince, could they come back from this one? Could you romanticize the storyline for me where Astralis can do this?
If there's one team in the world right now that could, it is Astralis. But will they? It's looking so incredibly unlikely, Henry.
The highest frag up is Magus got 9 and 10. To be fair, the fragging's like, it's not that desperate for them. They were getting kills. It's just they couldn't close out rounds. Every time they got close, someone like Kiabi get a 3-man spray down. Remember, that would clutch out 2 versus 1. As we get into a must-win situation in the second half pistol. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have P250s. Astralis are not going to go out without a fight here. We'll see whether they can get a few consolation rounds at least and make this competitive.
Indeed, and I think the kill spread is quite indicative of a team that's very aggressive. Sure, Astralis were getting a couple kills on the entry, but there's strength in numbers. NiKo is about to get tried from 4 separate players. He is able to get at least 1. MSL's going to flash himself out. USP, almost too many targets to choose from. Will be caught with the indecision. AZ with 1 and a second, going to double up. And there's David for a 3rd. Oh my goodness, AZ. He will not relent.
That's insane. His level has just been so impressive here. I'm used to saying him, well, he has one of those maps once every 6 or so, like he'll have a 20 bomb and you think, oh, he's definitely still got it. But he's been consistently, unbelievably good throughout this tournament. Whatever they did in the player break, it has worked and then some. KRB will punish Magus in the end. This could be the 16-1 coming in. Map points already, ladies and gentlemen. Astralis will have the force buy. With every penny they've got here, the CZs, the scouts will be coming through as AZ just bullies them. Again, how many kills has he got through smoke this tournament? This map alone has been about 4. And surely this is where it ends. Put Astralis out of their misery as Zipex will have the scout. This is their map pick. And they have not got much more to speak of than a single round.
Picked apart are Astralis, and AZ will lead the charge once more. Spray through the doors, finally plucked out by Zipex. But damage has been inflicted. Dupree is low, Magisk has taken some. Glaive gonna get flashed just as he went for the peak. Gonna be frustrating. Can't capitalize on it. Been some lightning fast rounds too. Astralis going to slow down the pace somewhat, but now starting to make a move on long. And NiKo, identical position to where he was in the pistol round. This time, though, has the MP9 as his trusty friend. And if they get close, he is going to be able to completely destroy anybody on long. Now the noise has been made. Peeks up, going to spray it out too. And that could be the end of Dust 2, ladies and gentlemen. Nice shot by Zipex, but he's going to have to find 3 more. No reason for NiKo to peek, and there is a smoke there. Did tag him slightly. But there it is, NiKo with the USP. 16-1.
Have you ever seen anything like it? What a scoreline that is. 16-1 on the Astralis map pick. North have turned up to this grand final. There was speculation as to whether they can perform on the big stage in a grand final, but they've certainly silenced the doubters here. This is unbelievable. Astralis look lost. That's their map pick. It's a high-fragging map, and North took absolutely everything from them. Really enjoyed their performance, and they've been one of the absolute standout teams strategically throughout this tournament, and now they've got world-class firepower to go with it, and Device, considered the best sniper in the world. He can't keep up with MSL. What's going on?
Yeah, we saw some big whiffs as well from Device, you know, especially that pitch shot in particular where MSL came out and got kills. Unbelievable. Let's pass over to the analyst desk, Henry, see what they have to say about that massacre.
Okay, well, nothing makes sense anymore. Thank you so much, Henry and Vince. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Sponge, Pimp.
I've worked it out.
Yeah?
I've solved it. I've cracked the code.
Help me.
North knew they were going to make the grand final. So what they did was they thought we were just going to let Mouse Sports beat us 16-0. We weren't even going to try. Then that way Astralis would pick it against us, and we've actually been pressing it heaps, and then we're just going to slam them back. It's called the Bear Cave.
Okay, Chad, here it comes. You ready? If I offered you a bet saying that I would dress up in women's lingerie and run on across the main stage.
Okay.
The only reason you would have to do that is if, I don't know, North 16-1 Astralis in the grand finals of a major Counter-Strike event with MSL top fragging.
Yep, I probably would take that bet.
You'd take that bet, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Take it any day of the week.
My goodness.
At what point in our lives did MSL become an AWPer
Incredible.
who is absolutely manhandling?
This is AZ, right? Look at this. AZ's having no worries.
This is the question mark if these players were going to be able to show up. And that monkey on the back that I was talking about that has now been completely and utterly shooed away from North has just stood up again in the grand final against the best team in the world. That is a massive victory.
They got 16-0'd, Jacob, and then they go to the same map versus inarguably a better team, and they 16-1 them.
I think it's unheard of. I don't
That's
think we've
new.
ever seen that before now. I mean, I'm not going to try to make excuses. You can't say that North, you know, they just came off fresh from a match. You know, they warmed up, they're ready, they're in the groove, and communication, all the kind of stuff. Astralis have had, you know, the half of the day to calm down and just chill. Still not an excuse to go in and not perform here, right? And
Yeah.
you could practice on the practice PC. You could make sure that you warmed up. It's just, it shows me that North is maybe a little bit more prepared than I initially thought, right?
Yeah, and they had complete faith in all of the calls that were coming out from MSL. There's several rounds that I'm watching there where they're just going full force. They weren't even scared of any single player on Astralis, and normally they are, I guess, putting fear into any opponent. Here, North have just completely disrespected them.
100 ADR from AZ in 17 rounds of play. Fantastic work from them. We've got people pushing 16 frags MSL.
It's a
at the
team
top of
effort.
it. Yeah, fantastic work from North. And that leads us to our next map. I want to make sure we just cover it just very briefly because we haven't got that much time.
Okay.
Train is up next. Did you have any closing thoughts that had to be said about Dust 2?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It was that quick and done. There was just a strap, but we don't even need to cover it. It basically just was full faith behind all of these strategies that they were doing, trusting their teammates' flashes, trusting their teammates' smokes, and absolutely decimating Astralis.
A fair point to lead into the train discussion is the fact that it was a very fast-paced game as well. You know,
Sure.
the Dust 2, it was completely, and everyone was just fast, and Astralis weren't able to stop it at all. Now, when you move into train, it's not going to be the same thing. You can't play that aggressive counter-strike on train. You can shut them down with your Molotovs, you can shut them down with your nades, which on Dust 2 is not necessarily a thing you can do. So, in that regard, I don't think North can play the same brand of counter-strike they just did, but again, you know, it was just so impressive and so skilled, and as you said, it felt like everyone believed in what MSL was saying, and then again, you know, when you have 16 frags as MSL against Device, then why not?
I think to touch on the positives of Train that we have seen from North in the tournament thus far, and Henry set this very well yesterday in the cast, was he tagged them as alley-oops, setups for each other, right? And this is spot on. If you just watch the way that the rotator comes in and throws a pop flash for Valde at low ramp so you can peek while that execute's coming in or just before they're setting up all those grenades, that's one little move. But not only that, you saw when we did the interview with Ave after their victory, he was like, yeah, we knew the way Flamey played team mid, so we just threw grenades at him. And he's like, they only got out one time. This is the thing, they're prepared for all these tendencies. Astralis have to know that this is the pick of North and they're going to be well and truly prepared for normally what they're going to throw at it. This is one of those situations. Shrug it off if you're Astralis, know that you're the best team in the world here. You're going to have to play some quality Counter-Strike because North are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and we're going to have to leave it there, guys. I'd love to talk more, but it does sound like it's time for us to take a break because when we come back, it's North's map pick in this grand final. It's only a best of 3, and they just decimated Astralis with what was supposed to be Astralis' curveball of Dust 2. Train coming up next after the break.